We were paying close attention there to the Senate floor as Senator Jeff Merkley has officially concluded his speech at over 22 hours. And as you can see this tweet there from Fox News Radio, Ryan Schmelz saying that Senator Merkley's speech concluded at over 22 hours. It was a marathon speech, all in protest of President Trump's policies as lawmakers remain at odds to reopen the federal government. And so to talk a lot more about what we really saw there, I want to bring into the conversation now Ryan Schmelz. Ryan, thanks so much for being with us this evening here on Live Now from Fox. We were watching 22 hours long. Some of these marathon speeches, while maybe not as often as they normally come, what did we really gain from listening into Jeff Merkley's there?
Well, Merkley was really trying to make this argument that President Trump is leading the United States down a road of authoritarianism. Now, one thing that I think stood out from this speech was that this was a very different reaction compared to what Cory Booker's speech was a couple of months ago, where Cory Booker broke the record for longest floor speech in Senate history. Merkley ended up being the fourth longest floor speech in Senate history. And you had some Republicans on the floor after Booker concluded his remarks, and they were applauding what he did and applauding the accomplishment. Republicans had a very different response this time. After Merkley was done, you had the #2 Senate Republican, John Barrasso, get on the microphone almost immediately and say, what did the Democrats accomplish? So Republicans had a pretty critical response to Merkley's speech compared to the one they had to Booker's speech. Despite the fact they disagreed a lot with what Booker was saying, it was just a very different reaction this time around.
And of course, we know that, Ryan, all of this is happening amid the government shutdown. We have the shutdown clock on our screen for everyone at home, but we're in day 22. Was that a major focus there as we were hearing from Merkley? What was he saying from the Democratic perspective on what we're seeing with the government shutdown?
You know, he focused on a lot of different policies. It wasn't just government shutdown related. It was very hyper-focused on different pushes that President Trump has had, such as trying to send the National Guard to Oregon, some of his policies in terms of firing people in the federal government, the argument that President Trump is trying to get rid of lifelong bureaucrats and replace them with people who are loyal to him. So he covered a lot of ground. I mean, he was speaking for 22 plus hours. They had to cut into a lot of different things. But the government shutdown was certainly weaponized by Republicans when they were attacking the Democrats' effort afterwards, where John Barrasso, like I just mentioned, he was pointing out that Jeff Merkley's staff is not going to be getting paid in the near future because the government is still shut down, and Republicans, just like Democrats are doing, are blaming the other side for the reason why the government is still shut down.
And so do we see anything else to come with this? We do know that Merkley briefly spoke in a press conference at the end, answering some questions there from reporters. We're going to play that out for folks in just a few minutes as well. But anything else that we should be paying attention to now that this has all come to a close?
Well, right before we came on here, the Senate did just finish voting once again on the GOP stopgap measure that would extend government funding and reopen the government until mid to late November. That vote once again failed. You had the same 3 senators who caucus with Democrats voting with all but one Republican, which was Rand Paul, the lone no. It failed to reach the 60-vote threshold, and about a dozen times Republicans have brought this bill to the floor. About a dozen times Democrats have shot it down. So the government is still shut down, and it doesn't seem like there's any end in sight as of right now.
And so we'll continue to keep our eyes on this. But once again, we want to thank with Fox News Radio Ryan Schmelz for bringing us the latest update as that marathon speech officially came to an end. Thanks so much for your time, Ryan.
Hey, thank you.